We are currently going through a spiritual battle that none of us can see. Ever since I was a little girl, I had many spiritual encounters, and because of that, I know how real that world is. I feel bad for people that haven't been able to see it, and I don't blame them for not believing, because it sounds crazy, like it sounds insane, but once you experience it, you know. Today, I'm going to be sharing some crazy experiences that I had when I opened a portal to the other side by playing with the Ouija board. Yeah, I know, terrible idea, but that's what we did. Because I was in high school, and I feel like in high school, you don't really think about consequences to your actions. So, yeah. I just want to begin by saying that I have stories for days. I'm telling you, like, since I was probably 5 or 6, I've been experiencing many things, and let me know in the comments down below if you guys want a part 2 to this and tell you guys a little more about the other experiences that I've had throughout my life. And if you've never been here before, hi, my name is Dailenis, and what we talk about in this channel is mental health, spirituality, bettering yourself as a person, just like real, relatable, everyday things. Whenever I do have an intuitive message that I feel like other people need to hear, I will post about that. Actually, my last video was that. If you feel called to watch that video, I highly recommend it. I feel like it's something a lot of us need to hear. We're going to take it all the way back to 2016, 2017, around there. I was around the age of 16. My friends and I, we had this brilliant idea to play with the Ouija board. My cousin and I, we went to, I think it was Spirit Halloween. We went to the toy section and we saw that there was a Ouija board. And she was like, oh my God, like we should play this. We should try this out. Mind you, at this point, I know how real the spiritual world is because I've had many experiences before this. So I knew that I had no business playing with this, but I was like, yeah, sure. Like, let's try it out. Let's see what happens. Throughout my life, I've had, I guess, this anxiety of wanting to know what's going to happen in the future and like looking for psychics and like looking for something to tell me that it's going to be okay or what's going to happen in the future so I can mentally prepare. And I think a part of me just wanted to know and ask questions about what was going to happen in my life and things like that. And now I know that this feeling is from lack of appreciating the present moment and being still and having God in your life, having Jesus, learning to trust and learning to appreciate the present moment, because that's what it is. It's a present. And whenever I had that mindset shift, I was like, wow, let me stop stressing about the future because I know I'm going to be okay. I don't have anything to worry about. It's gonna be good. We pick up this Ouija board and then we take it to our friend's house, and there a group of us get together. We light up some candles. If I can find the pictures or videos that we took, I'm gonna put them here so you guys can see. But we did like the whole setup. Like this looked like a ritual that we were doing. And at first everything was fine because we were asking silly little questions, and we were like, oh, should we eat Burger King? Should we eat McDonald's? Should we do this? Should we do that? And the Ouija board was playing into it, like it was being funny, and it was saying like, ew, you shouldn't eat at Burger King because it has chicken guts and parts, you shouldn't eat there. We didn't realize what we were summoning. I remember that day I went home, and one of the girls that was with me, she went to sleep in my house, and I remember having this feeling of not being satisfied with the answers that I got from the Ouija board. And I'm like, I need to know more. I had, like I said, I had this curiosity of wanting to know what was going to happen in my future. So I remember that when I was little, I played this game that it's 2 people, and then each of you holds 2 pencils, and then you connect them together, and then you ask like a yes or no question in your head or out loud, and the pencils will move in. I think it was like for yes, and then you move them out for no, or vice versa. And that's a whole other story we can talk about in the next video. But I told her, I'm like, hey, we should play this pencil game because we can ask yes or no questions, and we can see other questions maybe that we would want to ask. So we went to the store, we got some new pencils because they have to be unused. And then we went to my house and we started asking questions again. Once again, bringing in this energy and opening a portal now in my room, because keep in mind the Ouija board that we played, it was in a separate house. Now I'm continuing and bringing this energy into my house. And I played this game, I think 2 or 3 times in my room. And I remember one time I wanted to show my parents. I'm like, oh my gosh, Dad, look at how these pencils move. Like you can actually feel the energy as it moves the pencils. It's crazy because you could actually feel something moving it. It's very hard to explain, but it's like a force that you just feel, like you just feel the pencil moving on its own. And I remember I tried to show my parents and it wouldn't move. It was the craziest thing. It didn't want to show itself to my parents. It would work with everybody else, just like my little cousin, my friends in high school. It would work with us, but when it came to my parents, it wouldn't show itself, which I thought was really crazy. And one time I remember asking it, "Oh, are you a good spirit?" I said no. And we got really scared. And then we asked, "Are you going to hurt us?" And it said yes. And when it said that, we just dropped the pencils and we stopped playing. I was like, no. Now, keep in mind, when we played the Ouija board, I played the pencil game the same night at my house. So it's we continued the party now to my house. It was crazy because the morning after, all of us woke up with a bloody nose, except one girl. That girl has been through some spiritual warfare. And long story short, she didn't have a great relationship with her mom. And she would have to wear a protective necklace that had prayer over it, and it would protect her from spiritual warfare because her mom was doing brujeria on her. So if you don't speak Spanish, brujeria is black magic. So her mom was a witch, and she was doing this brujeria on her daughter, specifically this one daughter. If she didn't wear this necklace, I kid you not, she would get into a car accident. Everything in her life would go wrong. Everything in her life would go wrong. She had to wear that necklace all the time. And she was the only one that didn't wake up with a bloody nose. Now tell me if that's a freaking coincidence, dude, because how is that even possible? There's no denying that there was something that happened there and something that we summoned. Now, let's stop for a minute right there. When you look up the spiritual meaning of bloody noses and blood in general, in the spiritual world, it has a very sacrificial and meaningful reason. Jesus on the cross, he made a blood sacrifice to save us. And that's a whole other conversation. Everybody has their own beliefs. But if you look into it, the spiritual meaning behind bloody noses and things like that, especially when you're going through intense spiritual warfare, is that entity is draining your energy and it's taking your energy. All of us woke up the next morning with a bloody nose. And keep in mind, we all slept in different houses. Tell me how we all slept in different houses. After this experience, in my room, I started experiencing little things here and there. I would hear knocking from the inside of my closet. My little cousin, she was hanging out in my room and she saw a white shadow fly by. Little things like that. But there was one specific story that really stuck out to me. And this one shakes me to my core to this day. After school, I go to my room and I take a nap. And when I fell asleep, the windows in my room, the blinds were open. The window was closed, but the blinds were open, so the light from outside was hitting it to the room. So I take my nap. I remember this happened in the blink of an eye. I wake up and this all happens in literally in 1 second. As I wake up, since the blinds were open, it was already night, but the light from outside was shining into my room, so I could see my room. I could still see silhouettes. As I woke up in that, in literally that 1 second, in the corner of my bed, I see a shadow, and I see something that looks like it's either on its knees or it's really short. The best way I could describe it is it looked like a midget. And I heard it. It's it saw that I woke up, and in that instant, it hid from me, right? And I could hear it running really, really quickly, to hide. So I saw this little thing in the corner of my bed, and it didn't look like anything because it just looked black. It was just a shadow, but I could see that it was short. I saw it, I heard it, and then it disappeared. So it's I saw it, it ran, it disappeared, and I froze. I was there's no way that I just saw this. And it was so different from anything I had experienced before because I had never heard it at the same time. I had seen shadows before, but I had never heard them at the same time, and it was the freakiest thing that I've ever experienced to this day. When I had went to sleep, I had a balloon in my room. When I went to sleep, that balloon was on this side of my bed. It wasn't in the foot of my bed where I saw the shadow. Keep in mind, I had went to sleep, the balloon was next to my bed, but on the floor. In that moment, I was trying to reason with myself. I'm okay, maybe the air conditioning moved the balloon, and that's just what it was. It was just the shadow of the balloon, and the balloon has to be in the foot of my bed right now. If I wake up and I see that the balloon is in the same spot that it was when I went to sleep, then whatever I saw in the foot of my bed was not the balloon. So when I finally got the courage to check, you guessed it, the balloon was still in the same spot. So whatever was in the foot of my bed was not the balloon. And that's in the room that I'm still in currently. But with time, I feel like I've closed these portals. I feel like I don't do things to attract these things into my life. I pray to Jesus and I let it be known. I don't want to see you. I don't want anything to do with you. I always make it known to these dark entities because they're real. And if you open the door, they will fling it open and they will come into your life. They don't care. They need the smallest little permission slip to spiritually have access into your life and to wreak havoc and do whatever it is that they want. Sometimes when things are consistently going wrong in your life, that you're like, damn, I can't get ahead. Like there has to be something wrong in my life. These things have access to you and they're just messing with your life. Or somebody could be doing witchcraft on you. And this is a whole other conversation, but it's a real thing. Like it really is. Since everything is connected in this universe, it is so easy to just set the intention of wanting to wreak havoc on somebody's life. So any regular person could just have a hateful heart. And a lot of the time they're influenced by these dark things. So it's like the dark thing is influencing this person. And now this person is taking action to wreak havoc on this person and sending that person negative energy. So that's why it's important to stay spiritually protected, because we're going through a spiritual warfare, through a spiritual battle that we have no idea how deep it gets. We have no idea what's really going on at all times of the day. We see this 3D reality, but this is not all there is. And even if you look into science and if you look into the body, you'll see that we can't perceive all light. We can't physically see everything in our world. We can only see what is filtered through our eyes and through our mind. So just keep in mind all the things that we're seeing right now, we have no idea what we can't see. And let that sink in. We can't see everything that's happening. We can only filter it through our mind and through our eyes by our human capacity, which we're limited. Let that sink in. And that's why you have to stay connected to God. That's why you have to be protected spiritually and pray over yourself, pray over your family, pray over your friends, because this is real, you guys, whether you want to believe it or not. And that's why I was saying earlier, I feel bad for the people that haven't experienced something like this because they don't realize how real it is. And I can understand from their perspective how unbelievable it would sound. And I see why they wouldn't believe and they would think, oh, that's crazy. But I'm telling you guys, until you experience it for yourself, you won't really know. Honestly, you guys, I have so many stories. I love talking about this stuff. If you guys like this video, if you want to know more about the experiences that I've had, comment down below and let me know. And if you've had your own experiences, I love hearing about them. Please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear about it, you guys. But thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it helped you feel a little more connected and realize the spiritual battle that we're in. Please stay protected, stay connected, and pray over your family and your friends and yourself, your life, please. Every single day, pray to God, whatever it is that you believe in. Stay protected spiritually. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. See you in the next one. Bye.